So here again we have pretty smooth but steep, slightly steeper than the last one. Again, the considerations really aren't what we're going to be doing in the section, because we've thought about that before we get to the entry point, but thinking about our exit. If I build up too much speed here, I'm not going to have the control I need to deal with what comes next. And if I don't know what comes next, I'm going to err on the side of caution. So as I'm rolling in here, having thought through the section, thinking about my heels dropping, wrists dropping, shifting of weight, keeping my head up to the exit point, allowing the bike to pivot forward, and as it does so, my weight, allowing the shift of my weight, allowing the bike to pass through my legs so it tilts forward without throwing me down onto the front of the bars. I can then control my speed and actually, rather than accelerating under the forces of gravity, take a little bit of that speed off using my legs to support my body mass. As things get steeper, all riders at a certain stage, at a certain point, are going to start to challenge their emotional control, where they go from riding happy that they can clear everything, not a thought in the world or a consideration for what might be, to one where elements of doubt might creep in, etc. It's really important at this stage to keep your commitment high, keep your concentration levels high ahead of the bike, not end up staring down the barrel of your forks at what's 3 inches in front of your front wheel, but project ahead of the bike mentally. Also tightening up, conditioned under threat to tighten up, adrenaline rushes, our muscles tense, we may even hold our breath on a big drop. None of that's going to help when it comes to managing energy and fluidly moving around the bike. So breathe, think ahead of the bike, and if it takes more than 3 runs in to give it a go, save it for next time. It will still be here. If it doesn't look steep on camera, I think it is in reality. So even though this is pretty steep, at no point is it vertical, at no point are my wheels going to leave the ground, so there's always an opportunity to apply some form of speed control. I'm not going to ride into the top and simply let go of my brakes, pin out the bottom. I will be able to brake with consideration, as long as I remember that the more braking force I'm putting in, the more I've got to push into the bike. Any over rotation under braking is going to send me straight over the top, which is far, far, far from where I want to be. This section here, not quite so steep as the previous section, but certainly a little bit more to do in the section itself. We're going to have to actually negotiate some turns, there's a little bit of a step in the trail, there's a few gullies and things to handle, and just beyond the line of sight it steepens off for a final little roll down, which is kind of getting close to vertical for a point before rolling out into a fairly smooth transition. So here there is a little bit more to do in the section, so I need to, although I'm thinking ahead of the bike, making my decisions early, unconsciously I'm going to be doing something other than just hanging in there, which is what happens on perhaps on the slightly steeper sections that are smoother. It's all about speed control and thinking next. Here there is a little bit to do in the section. Not loads, but it's certainly worthy of my consideration. So ever more crucial then to think ahead of the bike, making my decisions early, controlling my rate of acceleration, good speed control. I'm going to have to be a bit more dynamic in my body position, I'm going to have to be moving around a little bit more to negotiate the section. But that said, keeping it nice and simple, breaking things down into footwork looking body position, entry section exit, speed control and a little bit of energy management on the way down is going to give me my framework, as with all techniques, to break things down, build them back up again and successfully negotiate trail as it gets more technical. So important when we're looking like a section like this, where we are using some speed control, i.e. using the brakes, is to remember to shift our weight, drop our heels, drop our wrists as we are braking. And it's not all about back brake. If I just lock up my back brake down here, it's going to bounce its way down the trail. It's not actually going to slow me down a great deal. I need to engage both brakes. So good balance braking, squeeze, no grab. But again, we're not trying to stop the bike in the section, we're just trying to control our acceleration. In fact, we're not trying to decelerate in the section, we're just trying to control our acceleration. Earlier we've identified different types of performance cue when we're riding: visual, input and anticipation or fear. Visual, look through it. Okay, there's some gnarly looking sections through there, some roots that stick out, make it look like it's quite steppy, look through them. Energy management is going to deal with the input, so any bouncing around on the back wheel we need to be soft, allow the suspension to work and not tighten up on the bike. And finally, that all important anticipation or fear. Think through the section. Think of the positive outcomes, where you do want to be doing stuff, what you want to be doing, well ahead of it, not what you don't want to happen. Think positive, be positive and ride with a level of confidence and commitment.